Yeah, the main rush of the day is definitely past, but you can see on the board behind me those orange lines, cancelled flights. They have been increasing in frequency as the day has gone on. Earlier on, there was only about 4 or 5 of them that have been cancelled, but now they're up to around a dozen or so that have been cancelled up until the end of the day. So it's affecting many passengers. Now, Reagan is, of course, is just one of a symptom of a larger problem here in the US. There have been around 1,000 flights impacted today alone. That's about 4% of national flights. It is going to be getting worse over the next few days as well, heading up to about 10% of national flights up until we get to next Friday. But of course, behind each of these numbers is a real story. And one of the people who has been impacted by one of these flight disruptions is with me now. Jenna, thank you so much for coming to join us here on France 24. Would you just tell us your story about what you've been impacted by today?
Yes, absolutely. So, I came out here for a work trip and we got on the way to the airport and we've already had our flight delayed twice. Obviously, luckily it's not been canceled yet, but I've been watching the boards with everybody else and hopefully, the orange stops showing up, but it doesn't seem likely at this point. So, hopefully we get home tonight, but it's definitely going to be an interesting travel weekend for everybody.
And your flight has been pushed back a few times throughout the day. Are you worried that it could get cancelled, pushed to tomorrow? What's that going to look like? How's that going to impact you if it does get cancelled and moved?
I mean, if it gets canceled, hopefully we can get set up at a hotel somewhere tonight, but I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people looking for last minute rooms. Obviously everybody has plans over the weekend, so things are going to get moved around. And I hope that we're able to get home tonight, but we'll see. We've talked about driving to Pittsburgh to try to get a flight. We've talked about driving to stay with family for a few nights until this settles down. But until we know, there's nothing we can do. We're kind of at the mercy of the planner, whoever the planners are with all this. So, yeah.
And it's been quite an expensive scenario for quite a lot of people that I've spoken to. A few people have had to pay hundreds of dollars for backup plans. Have the airlines given you any kind of information? How have they been treating you as well as a passenger?
It's a little confusing. Last night we got a notification from United saying that any flights that were going to be impacted had already gotten a notification. And so we were feeling a little bit confident coming in today. And then, of course, that hasn't been the case. So hopefully that notice was true aside from delays and we're able to, get home. But I'm lucky in that I've had this trip paid for by my work. I know a lot of people have not had that situation. And, it's very stressful with family traveling and trying to get home. So yeah, I don't know. I hope that somebody's able to help me if this gets canceled. I really don't know. I'm a bit stranded if that happens. But so far, we're still able to get home later. But, yeah.
Well, Jenna, we hope that you do manage to get home, and thank you so much for speaking to us here on France 24. Thank you so much. So it's been, a lot of people who've been impacted by this. Jenna is one of the fortunate ones, of course, who has a couple of different options. But some people have been left stranded. For now, their flights continually pushed back. But the airlines, for their part, say that they are working hard to rebook people. So far, they've managed to rebook about 80% of passengers, we're told. But of course, that flight disruption looking to get worse over the course of the next week or so if the shutdown continues.
Fraser, Jenna, they're very much empathetic to the situation. Do you get the feeling that that's the case amongst all passengers? Are they really in tune with what's going on with the shutdown? And is there a hope that this impasse can actually be availed and a solution reached?
I think there are definitely still some people who are not aware of what's going on. A few people, while I've been here today, have been asking why there's so much media presence at the airport today. So, it's definitely been it's definitely not something that most passengers are following. The people, of course, who've had their flights impacted are aware of it, but not everybody, that is for sure. But of course, the thing that most people are thinking about is, of course, the air traffic controllers who really are the backbone of this and the reason that this flight cancellation has been put into effect by the FAA. A lot of those flight controllers are having to work overtime or work extra hours. They're talking 10-hour days, 6-day weeks. One of my colleagues from the White House, one of our hotshot photographers, just managed to get a photo actually outside of the air traffic control tower here at Reagan, and it said in the window, "Will vector for food." Now, vectoring is the giving of instructions to aircraft, the magnetic headings that aircraft follow to fly across the country. So, of course, you see some of the kind of the real impacts that these air traffic controllers are experiencing here because of this government shutdown. They have gone a month now without pay, and at the moment there's no end in sight to this shutdown on Capitol Hill.